All right, we are live. And let's see if we can get a few people here to join. This is a Q&A live stream. If you guys have questions for the campaign, share this with anyone who also might have questions. This is the time to ask pretty much anything. We've been collecting signatures for the last month. We're getting close to the end here. June 31st, or June 1st is the exact deadline, and we're getting close to having all the signatures we need, but we still are looking for about 100. If we can get another 100 in this last week, it would be great. So, like I said, if you can share this with someone, possibly family, friends, any relatives that live in Janesville who might be interested in signing, anyone who would be interested in seeing another candidate on the ballot. That's what I'm trying to do, is offer people an independent alternative. This looks like it'll be a election between a Democrat and possibly a Republican. Everyone's having, I'm sure, a hard time collecting signatures right now. So we'll see who is fortunate to get enough to be on the ballot as of June 1st. Like I said, if you guys have questions, please comment. I'm happy to answer anything. I know a lot of people identify as independent, but we are a independent libertarian campaign, so that leaves room for a lot of questions, and I'm happy to answer anything. We have been posting regularly on the Facebook page, also on Twitter and Instagram, trying to let people know where the campaign stands on issues. Transparency and accountability are top priorities for the campaign. But also other issues. I know gerrymandering is really important, whether you're a Democrat or Republican. I've heard from people of both parties that gerrymandering is a pretty critical issue, and there is proposed solutions that are completely possible. That includes an independent oversight committee, nonpartisan independent oversight committee, and I believe that is a good solution, that possibly an independent representative could have success with a proposal in the legislature, maybe more so than a Democrat or Republican, but that is what we're proposing with our campaign in general, that a independent amongst the assembly would be at least a change in the culture, a change in the environment in the assembly, and that's what we're proposing. So right now, collecting signatures has been a challenge. You know, all candidates, whether they're incumbents or new candidates, returning candidates from previous elections, anyone who's seeking to be on the ballot in November or in the August 11th primary is currently collecting signatures before June 1st, the June 1st deadline. So everyone's in the same boat, and that means everyone's having a hard time collecting signatures, I'm sure, unless you have enough funds in your campaign budget to mail over 400 potential supporters. Those expenses seem to add up really quick, and candidates are usually knocking doors for support or going to public areas and gathering support and signatures. Of course, with the pandemic and the stay-at-home orders and everything that's been changing between the federal, state, and local levels, it is not only hard for candidates, but it is hard for everyone out there. I'm sure people are having a hard time with employment and everything. So, hard times for everyone, including candidates trying to get on the ballot. The Wisconsin State Legislature was asked by several citizens, and myself included. We reached out and urged representatives to, including the governor, to change the ballot access requirements. Those attempts to ask for that change were basically denied. So everyone is still looking for 200 to 400 signatures. If you're in an assembly race for congressional candidates, it's 1,000 signatures. At the local level, even county board members have to get, I believe, 500 signatures. Everyone is looking for a lot of signatures, and as independent libertarian, I know that signatures are an issue whether it's during a pandemic or not. Ballot access requirements in general are an issue that we believe should be addressed, and I personally believe that the requirements should be changed or minimized so that more people can get on the ballot. There are primaries, and each party usually approves of candidates or not. So there are plenty ways for candidates to be vetted other than the ballot access requirements that include signatures. I do believe that's more of a popularity contest than it is anything else. So I would like to see some legislation proposed that would possibly alter or change the ballot access requirements, hopefully lowered, and that is one thing I do support. I think elections in general do not get enough attention. A lot of our elections are unopposed, and we have quite a history of unopposed elections in our state. Too many elections do go unopposed. So when someone like myself tries to get on the ballot, getting the signatures is hard enough, but also appealing to people and letting them know you're a third party or an independent, it can present even more of a challenge. And that's where we are right now. We're taking on the challenge because a lot of independents realize that that's pretty much where the frontier in politics is right now. People are more diverse than just Republicans or Democrats, and that should be reflected in our representation. So if you see a candidate who's bold enough to be an independent or any of the third parties, I'm sure they would appreciate your support with either a signature, even a Facebook page like, a share, comments. Anything helps, and especially when it comes to independent third party candidates. It is not easy even to get exposure. So appreciate all the support. We've actually had a rise in followers on our page. We're past 300, and I'm pretty proud to say we achieved a goal that I wasn't sure if we'd ever get past 250 or whatever it was for a long time there, but we're past 300. Every new follow, every new share, all of that helps. So really do appreciate that. We also, our last video, the live stream, over 1,000 views in 2 days. That really helps, guys. That's the type of help that really gets the message out there. And right now it is about having more choices. That's what our campaign represents. We're not here to just instigate more problems. We're trying to present bold but decent solutions. That's pretty much our campaign slogan: be bold, be decent. So, like I said, if you have questions, feel free to ask them. Otherwise, that is pretty much it for the update on the campaign. We're still collecting signatures, and we will for the next week. If you know someone, have them reach out to me if they have questions. Everyone seems to have questions for a candidate before signing, and candidates will tell you, myself even, I'll tell you that it's not really about being partisan right now. It's about letting voters have options on the ballot. But even so, people want to know the candidate that they're signing for, and that does make sense. So if you know someone who has a question or would like to know more, send them to the page. Tell them they can message me any time of day. I'm available anytime, and I'm not afraid to answer any questions that are out there. I know, like I said, as an independent libertarian, we're facing a lot of perceptions that might not really add to what we're really trying to represent. Libertarians get slumped as conservatives very often, and I made sure in our first media news coverage with the Janesville Gazette to stipulate that we are not running a conservative campaign. We are running a purely independent campaign We're trying to do an independent campaign that is representing gray area, diverse issues, not just Democrat or Republican, but we're trying to assess the issues that people of both parties and also independents see relevant. So gerrymandering, fair elections, those are our two top issues. Transparency and accountability. We've had a lot of people ask while I'm signing or having signatures. A lot of people want to know about the transparency and accountability, or how an independent would impact the assembly. And it's very simple. The assembly has never had an independent. It is Republicans, Democrats. We've had socialists, Democrats, and also progressives in the assembly. But the assembly has never had an independent, and I believe that that's a challenge worth pursuing. And I do believe that the assembly, and the culture, and the environment could be impacted by an independent who tries to remain true as an independent. I realize that there is strong influences from both parties, influences of all kinds, also special interests in our state. All of that would be trying to alter my position as an independent, but I'm a pretty firm individual. I believe in individuality, and that's how I've been my whole life. I've been an individual, and I've never supported just one party or the other. And that's something I think I can bring to the assembly, basically who I am as an independent person. I do not have a long list of credentials. I know the other candidates in this race have either served on the city council or have many credentials. And I'm just a regular guy. I work in Janesville. I raised my family here, and I'm a podcaster. I've been interested in politics since high school. I was a sophomore, I believe, when 9/11 occurred, and I've paid attention to politics since, and increasingly, ever since then, I've become more involved. I started campaigning and door knocking and passing out literature for candidates as far back as 2008. Actually, was the start of my political activism. So I've been active for a while, and I'm at a point where I see things as many voters do. I see our non-competitive elections. I see a lack of independence, even though independents are the largest voting base. I'm just trying to address the issues that are easily seen from the surface, and I believe that's something that would appeal to more voters if we get on the ballot. So if you're interested in signing and haven't already, or if you know someone, a family member, relative, friend, someone who's interested in a libertarian or an independent, and also people who are just interested in seeing the culture change in the assembly in our state, please send them to our Facebook page or to reesewoodforassembly.com. We're looking for all the support we can get right now. We have 1 week left to gather signatures, so we're trying to exceed the 200 person signature requirement. It's 200 to 400. We would like to exceed 200, and currently we are just a little past 150. So we need 50 plus more signatures. Every signature counts and is greatly appreciated, and we will continue to face this challenge head on. I'm here anytime to reach out to. I keep my phone by my side, and I respond as quickly as I can. If there are no questions at this time, I'm going to end the live stream, and I see someone thinks they missed it. Jim, you did not miss it. I'm still here. If you have a question, happy to answer before we sign off. Otherwise, if you see this at a later time, comment on the video. I'll follow up that way. Happy to follow up any way I can. Please reach out to me. We do need all the help and all the support we can get. Thanks to everybody who's done everything they can so far. We've had some awesome help from a lot of awesome volunteers, and I've probably said it a few times, but this has not been easy, and as it isn't for any other candidates right now. Jesse Wilson is asking, how do you think you will fit in with the Republican-controlled assembly. I'm not sure. I do believe that that is something that would only be evident after getting in there. I do believe that an independent amongst the Republicans would possibly reach over into Democrat issues that I believe both parties do have decent members, and there are issues that both parties want to see changed. Gerrymandering is not just a Democrat issue. There are Republicans that do believe that their party has benefited, at least most previously, from the gerrymandering in our state. So there are decent members from both parties, but I do believe that an independent representative would have the best chance at reaching out to members of either party. So that's really the place I think I would bring to the assembly. And that is totally a challenge that we would have to take one step at a time. How the Republicans would react to me, I couldn't even tell you. I gain support from Republicans when I'm asking for signatures and when I'm speaking to Republicans, but I also appeal to Democrats. As I said, I've supported both in the past, and that's because that's who I am. I believe certain issues I can lean liberal and other issues conservative. So where do I fit in the assembly? We would really have to see. And I hope that's enough for you, Jesse. If you have anything to add on that. I do understand. I ran 2 years ago against the minority speaker in the assembly. That is Mark Spreitzer. He is a Democrat. And, I know he has made several proposals, legislative proposals, that have been turned down or were not successful, including one that would apply right now to ballot access. He did propose some legislation for e-signatures. To allow candidates to collect e-signatures, and that is the kind of proposal that I would support from a Democrat or a Republican, whether it came forward. E-signatures, I could care less which party puts something like that forward. That's something that's good for the voters, because more candidates on the ballot gives the voters more options. So there's just another example, I guess. But as I said, if you have more questions, where would I fit in the assembly? That is a hard one, because no one can tell the future and say where things are going to end up. But also, this election could change. The Republicans do have a majority, and right now candidates are having a hard time collecting signatures. So we will have to see. There's so many unopposed elections in our state. I believe more than 50% of our elections go unopposed every election. So too many unopposed elections in our state. And the ones that do not go unopposed, the actual challenged elections, see very few challengers. So one challenger and one incumbent. I don't agree that that's always a fair election. So we're trying to at least impact that and see more candidates in the future. If someone in either party is willing to work on a proposal that would help candidates reach a ballot or help voters get more choices, that's a person I would be willing to work with. But thanks for your question on that, Jesse. All right. Well, we only have 2 viewers right now. Hopefully we get more views in the replay or afterwards. Like I said, share this with people, and I'm trying everything I can to get support and get signatures. Everything besides spending a lot of money. That is the one thing we're not doing right now. I am not a wealthy person. Our campaign is committed to running a grassroots campaign, and hopefully we succeed in getting the signatures we need. So I hope you all have a good Memorial Day weekend. I have succeeded in not getting the face mask tan so far like I did last weekend. So I know it's a nice, beautiful day out there. I hope everyone has a good Memorial Day, and I will talk to you soon.